whistles and the perfect advantage for 4. They win.
The 24-hour endurance race was off to a good start, but as the night settled in...
How are you?
Hello.
Fernando, nice to see you again.
Hello.
So,
Nice to see you.
there are the words, unearth your greatness. You've done it a few times over the years. What's the secret to unearthing your greatness?
Obviously, you have to love what you do. You have to still enjoy what you do. You need to focus on something, on a goal, and then go for it. You know, there are sacrifices that you have to make.
What motivates you today?
Personal challenge, I would say. You know, try to win again in Formula One. The project itself, you know, Aston Martin, you know, the great facilities that we have now, the great people that join the team as well. I feel very proud to be part of the organization, and you know, it keeps me in the best shape possible, because I know that I have a responsibility, you know, over my shoulders, being in an incredible organization like Aston Martin, and that's the place where I want to have the last opportunity in F1.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think you know, look. I'm racing now because I love to race. I'm racing because I want to win again, and I want to win it with this team. We all want to prove something. We all want to win one more time. In Formula One, you are dictated by the car performance, but the job from a driver is different. You have to create that perfect car together with the team. So it's a different kind of job. You are not only driving on Sundays, you have to create the perfect team from Monday to Saturday.
So when you talk about you have to create a perfect team, what are the things they want to see and hear, the behaviours from you that really matter?
First of all, you need to respect, you know, everyone's job here. We are 900 or 1,000 people in Aston Martin, and everyone in the team has a key role, you know, into the performance of the car. At the same time, I think you need to lead by example. You have to dedicate, you know, the necessary hours to perform at your best. You have to deliver the result on Sundays when it's possible. You have to be sharp, fit, motivated all throughout the season to do the job every day, despite, you know, you have better days and worse days. You know, you have to have this mask, you know, when you come to the job that you have to perform. And Formula One is brutal in that respect. You know, it's the most competitive environment, you know, in any sport. There are no off days here, you know, every day is key to success. After a good or a bad result, I'm always the same, you know, and I expect that everyone is doing the 100% as well when they come to the factory.
You said you have to sometimes put a mask on. Is that because you need to be the person that's ready to go all the time?
You cannot show any weakness, you know, in the sport. As an athlete, we are 20 drivers in the world, so there are a lot of eyes on us. There are a lot of attention on everything we do. Good things and bad things are exaggerated, you know, sometimes for good, sometimes for bad. And you have to really, obviously, have a huge self-confidence, but at the same time, you have to show no weaknesses on your driving style. You have not to show any weakness on the media appearance, in any of the rumors that may appear. You know, you have to be always very, very cool about that. You have to put a mask here when you enter the paddock.
Is it not exhausting?
It is very demanding. Not every day you feel 100% and you feel ready to do the commitments that you have to do. It is demanding, but I think all the jobs are demanding if you do it to perfection. You know, even the very simple job, you know, out there, if you do it perfect and if you want to be the best at the thing you do, it is demanding, and you have to accept that and to enjoy the process of finding perfection, let's say.
And I think when it comes to unearthing your greatness, the trick really is to understand what everyone else is doing as well. What are the kind of the games, either the mind games or the physical things that you see from other drivers where you're like, I know that's a game, or maybe the ones that you do yourself?
It's not that everything is so obvious, you know, from the athlete itself, you know, that has some strengths or weaknesses. But yeah, you understand with time, you know, different characters and different ways of behaving, you know, from your rivals that you can spot. Even in free practice, that there are a couple of interactions with other drivers and cars, more friendly or less, or...
What does less friendly look like in free practice?
Yeah, just, you know, impeding a little bit some of the good laps, some tricks out of the pit lane, you know, that you are letting a car go or just taking that spot and break a little bit the train of cars that are coming behind. You know, there are always little things. Driver's briefing, you know, sometimes you go there in the room and your main rival on the previous race raise a point from that race that you were a little bit borderline on overtaking move or something like that. So they just ask for a clarification on that move, which they know it was right and it was on the limit, but just, you know, that's is pointing at you, you know, that question. You know these kind of things and you play that game as well sometimes. It's more outside the car where you can spot some of the competitiveness that we all have, you know, in some media answers. You point towards some competitors sometimes and they point at you. Teams, they exploit the rules to the limit sometimes, you know, when you see a team or a car or a driver dominated for 2 or 3 races and then that controversial rear wing that they've been using is banned or something for the future races, then you point at that, you know, device.
And was there a season in your career where you knew mentally you'd managed to have the beating of your opponents?
My Ferrari seasons 2010, 2012, we fought for the championship until the last race with a package that was not as competitive as the Red Bull. And I think some of that competitiveness and fight mode that we entered in those years were also coming from the outside. I remember once, I think it was Korea, South Korea in 2010, it was a red flag in the middle of the race. It was very wet, aquaplaning everywhere. We stopped on the grid and it was Mark Webber first, I was second. I came to the grid and I spoke with him. You know, the track is really bad, you know, this aquaplaning. It will be a disaster if we restart the race now. And I knew that the race was about to restart soon. He said that I entered in his mind that the track was worse than what actually it was. And he crashed after the restart.
You wily old devil.
I was trying to use every single thing that it was in my pocket, you know, in that day to really win a race or keep the championship alive a little bit longer.
If we're talking about greatness, there's also tough times because that's part of finding the greatness. When was the period in your career where you think mentally it was the biggest challenge and the biggest struggle?
2010. There is a very narrow line between greatness and big disappointments, and it was the case in 2010. We were very close to win the championship in Abu Dhabi. We didn't manage, and that was a big down moment. One of those moments that you will love to go back 24 hours in time and do things differently. It's a big opportunity to win a championship and then lose it, you know, in that hour and a half in those 57 laps of Abu Dhabi. You need to come out of that dark moment. It can be 1 week, it can be 2 hours, it can be 3 days. In my case, it was like 16 hours. I think I woke up in Monday morning and we had a Pirelli test on Tuesday. And I took that Pirelli test as a reset point. It was 16 hours, you know, what the stay inside, you know, the disappointment.
And for people watching this who struggle with getting over disappointment or it holds them back, what advice would you share with them that you've learned over the years?
That everything goes by very fast, much faster than what you think in that moment, you know. In that moment you think that, okay, the end, this is the end of the world, but the sun and the day comes within 16 hours and it's a new day. You know, it's difficult to understand why this happened now and what this happened to me. With time, with days, with weeks, or with months, you will understand, actually, that had to happen to find me now in this situation.
Amor Fati, accept your fate. Like, this is the way that the world has set out for me. Are you able to accept your fate when you look at your career and you think of the great moments, but you also think of the tough moments, and you're now sitting here at Aston Martin? Would you change anything?
If I change something, I will not maybe be here now, and I will not be who I am now. So it is tricky always. Obviously, if you have the crystal ball and you go back in time and you do things differently, in Formula One, it's very easy to choose different teams. Maybe you win more championships, or you are in a different position, but I'm happy. You know, I think all the decisions that I made, all the mistakes and good things that I made had to happen, and they were there for a reason.
What would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned from success?
You will not be there forever, you know. It's very obvious. When things are going bad and good, you understand that that's for that moment in time, and it will not last forever. But you still believe in that right moment that they will be forever. You know, I don't know why. Even if we know, you think that winning races that will be, you know, from now on, the normality, winning championships, that's my destiny. You know, these kind of things, you know, in that moment. So I would say that now, when I have success, or if I do have success in the future, I will enjoy more that moment, because I know that the following week it will vanish somehow. You know, it will stay there forever in the book, something like that. But the personal feeling will just dramatically go down. It's just a moment of high, and probably I didn't enjoy as much as I should in the past. You mentally go and transport to the future and just thinking of the next championship. I won the championship in 2006, and I was thinking, okay, now I go to McLaren in 2007, so I need to adapt.
So you're always thinking of the next.
Always, and I didn't enjoy the moment because I thought somehow that was the normality.
Yeah.
So with time and with maturity, you learn those things.
We're discussing greatness, right? But greatness is only great for you if you actually stop to enjoy the greatness. If you move on instantly, how great actually was it? You know, you might get a race win this weekend for Aston Martin, and it might feel like the greatest thing you've ever done because you've learned that you have to enjoy every moment. But then I also think that if you're searching for greatness, do you have time to really stop and enjoy those moments? Because your competitors might not be doing that.
Agree. I think it's an interesting point, because probably you will not achieve greatness if you do enjoy the success.
So what's the point?
I think you have to combine both things. Greatness can only be achieved if you constantly search for the next success. To make a difference in an ultra competitive sport, it means that you need to do something extraordinary, and you have to do something that probably has been never done before. You have to be always in a constant mood of just sacrificing everything for the next success, and that's very difficult to do in life.
Absolutely, and I think this also applies to everyone watching this, everyone in this room now. I think so many people live their lives thinking, I'll be happy when I have some success. And it's only when we stop and look back we realise the happiness should have been in the struggle, in the sacrifice, in the challenge.
You have to enjoy the journey. In a way, it was happening in my career as well after Formula One. I always thought that the prototype cars and the Le Mans cars were the ones that I really loved to see. You know, from very young age, I saw those cars, that capsule, you know, where the driver is in, that it was very, very attractive. I tried the 24-hour Le Mans, I tried the Indy 500, I went to Dakar, Daytona. All those challenges, you know, made me grow as a driver, but also as a person. I went out of my comfort zone. I have to learn from the best how to drive those cars, which was very different than a Formula One car. Formula One is my life, and it's very big sport in the world, but it's still very, very small if you compare to, you know, what motorsport can offer and what a driver can become. You can be a much more complete person and more complete driver if you expand a little bit the view outside Formula One.
So you're a better driver for having had time out of Formula One driving
100%,
somewhere else?
100%, because as a driver, you see different point of views, and outside Formula One, I think I learned a lot of things.
What do you think is your greatest ever F1 drive?
I don't know, it's difficult to choose and difficult to remember all of them.
I thought you would have an instant answer to this question.
To Valencia, probably. One of the best, but I think it has been the most mediatic one and the well-known. But there are many races that, you know, people were not maybe aware of. I think it was Malaysia, Sepang 2011, probably, where I had a problem on the gear shift. And the gearbox was broken, semi-broken, the clutch had a problem. The gears went up, okay, but not down, around half through the race. I tried to downshift to 10-1, and from 7th I went to only 5th instead of 2nd. So I did 10-1 in 5th, I lost time. I realized in the following corner that it was a problem. Out of desperation, I tried to blip the throttle on a downshift, just because if not, I will retire the car in that lap. And I blipped the throttle and the downshift went in. So in the next braking point, I blipped the throttle 4 times and 4 downshifts went down. And I communicate to the team, what I'm doing is right or wrong. I will break the gearbox within 1 lap. And they said, keep doing what you're doing. Gearbox is safe by doing that. And I did like 30 laps like that. So upshift was okay, and then braking, I had to brake. And while having the pressure on the brake pedal, I have to blip the throttle a couple of times to the downshift that I wanted. Obviously, synchronize the throttle and the paddle shift. The engineers, they came and they said, I don't know why you came with that solution, that fast, because that could be a solution, but you did it like in 13 or 14 seconds in the second corner after you had a problem. And I said, I hate losing. I hate retiring the car. I will try everything before just stopping, and accept that we have to DNF. I finished like fifth or something, completely anonymous. No one will remember that race. But the level of energy that I had to put in that race, the level of concentration, focus, and instantly come out with a solution of a problem that it was never tested or experienced, I think it was quite a race to remember. But as I said, some races, they come anonymous on the people.
The inside story of Malaysia 2011. That's one of my favourite Formula One stories straight away. I don't think people know about that very...
No, they don't know much. No.
That's also a good reminder that when we are unearthing our own version of greatness, it's about what...
Anonymous on the people.
The inside story of Malaysia 2011. That's one of my favourite Formula One.
Abu Dhabi was the last race of 19. The whole weekend was not maybe good enough from ourselves. We didn't have the pace to be as quick as a Red Bull.
Jamie made a video looking at Reddit's Genshin meta hot take. Should we look at that? Actually, fuck the video. I do want to look at the post, though. I'm down. What's your hottest take in regards to Genshin meta? A lot more people are meta slaves than they realize. Yeah, sure. Sort by controversial. Malika is overrated. I don't necessarily disagree. I do think that she's overrated in some ways. Natlin power creep is too much. I don't think that's a hot take at all. Oh my god. This person seems very angry. Nevilet is overrated. I chalked so hard when Thrash Jeff said he's better than Malika because of quality of life. Well, okay. I don't think he's better than Malika anymore. Because of Stygian Onslaught. But this was said pre-Stygian. But what quality of life does Maoika not have? Have you ever seen a casual player play Maoika? They react their burst like 20% of the time. It's, yeah. And if you've seen a casual player play Neuvillette, they play, like, normally. You kind of can't fuck things up with Neuvillette. Casual players play Melt Citlali, not Melt Maoika, yeah. Farina really isn't all that. True! So true, you tell him. A lot of complaints about power creep are mostly the results of people being bad at the game, whether it's refusing to read the boss mechanic or having the worst rotation / team setups imaginable. Decision Onslaught is the biggest proof of that. You always see complaints about how you need constellations on premium teams, then not even a day later, multiple posts.
Mm.
Of people beating Fearless with free-to-play teams. This is a bad take. Like, people that are bad at the game were bad at the game before and are still bad at the game. Right? It's not like suddenly power creep has made them suck more. It's like, I remember seeing someone struggling to beat the Natlin phobic boss and they were... Wait, what Natlin phobic boss? Cryo Automaton? Oh. Well, that wasn't really Natlin phobic. You could... my fastest clear was with Siglali. But a lot of the power creep is self-inflicted. But, like, yeah, to me, that's kind of just a delusional take. Like, can you have relatively worse teams deal with new content with good gameplay and good team building? Sure. But it is objectively more difficult than it used to be. And, like, even a good player on an account that just doesn't have the right answers to things can end up finding themselves unable to beat Stygian Onslaught. Anyways, here's a real hot take, since most of them in this thread kind of suck, TBH. There's hardly any power creep, and most people do not know what the word means. No, Kevin, it's not power creep, but they release a more powerful character from time to time. That's just power, no creep. So... this is wrong, but it's a good hot take. Because that was true basically up until Maoika. Because, like, you look at the characters before Maoika, you have characters like Neuvillette, you have characters like, I mean, to some extent, Walani, right? And are they more powerful than the things that were available previously? Yes. But does that necessarily indicate power creep? Not really, because historically, the floor for a lot of units got better with unit releases. Right? Dendro mainly raised the floor for so many things, and it wasn't really power creep, because it's not like new units are really good and old units are bad. It's new units allow certain different old units to reach the same heights of power as what was previously the best teams. But it didn't really increase that. It just made it so that a lot more things could get to that. And that kind of stayed the same until Maoika release. And then Maoika release increased the fucking ceiling by 30k. And since Maoika came out, we've had multiple characters that are noticeably above what was previously that ceiling. They didn't beat Maoika, but this 100 to 130k DPS range, right? Pre-Maoika, no one was there. Post-Maoika, every carry is there. That is power creep. Anyways, was Maoika a mistake? I mean, a mistake implies that it didn't achieve its intended purpose. So, was it a mistake? No. Was it something that pisses me off? Yeah. Maoika is the Gojo of Genshin. So true. fucking loser, cringe. For some reason, people like her, but no one should. Her presence makes everything more boring. So true. So true. So true. So true. You hate Gojo? I do. Number one Gojo hater. Okay, one. Natlin ruined the meta. This is not a hot take. Old characters should get buffs right now. I don't know how much of a hot take this is. I don't think it's much of a hot take. The Primo economy should also be increased. I mean, that's not a hot take either. Okay, none of these are hot takes. Okay, wait. I think this is supposed to be focused on exploration, and I don't know. I actually do think Phlogiston is kind of a shit mechanic. I don't really like it that much. Oh, this one was pre-hidden. Nevinet and Singso are overrated as fuck. Old Man was power crept by Arlecchino, and then got directly power crept as a Hydro DPS by Molani. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is a speedrunner take? This is not a speedrunner take. This is a rage bait take. Okay. Only lore relevant characters should be the top DPS and supports. I like Vressa, but it doesn't make sense for her to be strong. Same with Escoffier, who's just a random chef. I think that is a hot take. I disagree with it. But I don't think it's a bad take necessarily, because personally, I don't give a fuck who's meta and who's not. Like, I don't really have much of an attachment to the characterization of any of the units I play. If they gave, like, Yume Glorp Glorp Mawika's kit, I just play Yume Glorp Glorp over Mawika the same way I play Mawika. Like, I wouldn't give a fuck. You know? As much as I like Verissa, she shouldn't have power crafted a literal Archon. Yeah, I half agree with this. The biggest problem here is it's a result of Mawika, right? Mawika was too strong, and it just completely fucked balancing for any character released after. If they made Verissa weaker than Raiden, she would have been completely worthless. Like, Raiden is just not good now. And to be fair, Raiden's best team at C0R0 right now is better than Verissa's best team. Because Hyperbloom is kind of the GOAT. Night Soul being pushed as a mechanic was healthy and good for the game, and looking back, the mechanic behind Natlin characters and enemies was more than justified. I don't hate this take. Like, on one hand, I disagree with a part of it, but it's not because I think that it's inherently bad. I don't think Night Soul is inherently bad. I think Cinder City is too strong. But that's not really the Night Soul mechanic's problem. I actually do kind of like Night Soul as a mechanic. It is a good mechanic. But Cinder City's too strong, which makes it so that slapping Night Soul on a character inherently makes them way more powerful. Which kind of feels wrong. Also, Night Soul transmission in combat in Overworld is the thing that feels the worst in the fucking game. There is no meta. I mean, that's just, I don't care about the meta disguised as a general statement. Like, there is no teapot because I don't interact with that system. Well, it still fucking exists just because you don't like it. Like, this is a very self-important take, I think. That's different. Meta is completely irrelevant. I disagree, but sure. This is definitely not a hot take. Not a hot take. The content in Genshin is the easiest. Anyone complaining is either a new player or trash at the game. Yeah, the content is very easy. Except for the difficult content, which, I mean, does exist. And it is difficult. But, forget about it because it doesn't suit my agenda. Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Oh, good hot take. Okay, Sijuin is nowhere near as bad as people make her out to be. She just doesn't fit into the archetype of hyper carry. The same idea applied for Kokomi before Dendro. Additionally, Kokomi and Sijuin have completely different uses, so Sijuin is not a worse Kokomi. So, the first part, I think that's fair. The second part is wrong. What is the completely different use that Sijuin has that Kokomi doesn't? Like, what is her purpose in a team that cannot be fulfilled by Kokomi? And I'm not talking about whether she does it better or worse, I'm talking about In what way does Sijuin achieve something that is completely different from what Kokomi can do? Team-wide healing? I mean, that's not a completely different thing. Team-wide healing is just single target healing, but better. Also, Kokomi can do team-wide healing. It just requires a bit of field time. I think Sijuin was a massive missed opportunity. She could have been an interesting Bond of Life focused buffer, but she just wasn't. Instead, she's a healer that has a Bond of Life mechanic that doesn't really do anything. I do agree that she's not as bad as people make her out to be. Although, I don't know if that's going to stay accurate in the future. Right? Because at the end of the day, all she really does is a very, very tiny buff, healing, and pretty underwhelming Hydro App. But, like, a character release nowadays just does so much more. So as soon as we get another Hydro healer, Sijuin is going to comparatively be so fucking dog shit. It all makes no sense. Sijuin's ult is straight up just not supposed to be a C0 thing. Her ult is basically
One stories straight away. I don't think people know about that very.
No, they don't know much. No.
That's also a good reminder that when we are unearthing our own version of greatness, it's about what matters to us. It's not about the public opinion of that. And when things are a challenge, as they are now, for race results at Aston Martin, what's the secret to remaining optimistic, to remaining hopeful?
You have to trust the team and the people that we have in the factory. I think the latest recruitment that we had, and the new people that came brought us a reset on expectations and motivation. If you don't see any change when the situation is not good, then it becomes a problem. Then you lose the trust. You don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I think in Aston, what I found is a team and a leadership that they are never happy until we win.
And a couple of weeks before the news broke that Adrian Newey was joining this team, I had a chance to speak with him and I said, what are you most excited about? And he said, I've never had the chance to work with Fernando Alonso. You'd also never had the chance to work with Adrian Newey, and now you're doing that here. When you think about Adrian Newey and greatness, what do you think about?
For sure the best ever designer in the sport. And no one probably will achieve the numbers that he has. Yeah. And the way he works explains some of the results that he had. He has an incredible way of seeing the car as one piece that works together, not single devices that provide performance. He just can anticipate the whole car like in one piece. He seems in control of everything at all the time. A self-confidence that probably I never saw before. He's not stressed about any other team or any other philosophy or any other design. He believes that his will be the best.
How does that make you feel?
Very safe. He came to Monaco to the race. He was just in the garage. He's not talking to many people, but at the same time, always thinking, and touching, the front wing here, the suspension there. He's, I think, an artist more than an engineer.
I think that you're the dream partnership. The thing that I noticed between the two of you most of all, utter obsession. Total and utter obsession with winning. Am I right?
Yeah. When we are motivated, we are obsessed.
I think people see the success, they see the victories, they don't see the hard work. What would you say to people that don't understand how much hard work and greatness are connected?
They are part of each other. You will not get one without the other, but hard work and the process of winning and achieving something special is already a victory. It's already a success. When I go into a championship or when I go into a race, I do believe that I'm the best prepared. That kind of preparation, that kind of knowledge about the whole race situation make me a winner before I start the race. And I will not win the race. I understand what is the limitation of the package and the speed we have, but I go into the race full of optimism, confidence, and determination to achieve the best result that Sunday. Sometimes it's 7th, sometimes it's 9th, sometimes it's on the podium. If a podium is in our hands, I will not finish 8th. I'm sure of that.
Greatness is not actually winning. Greatness is the best you can do in that moment.
Greatness is the best version of yourself in that moment and never stop searching for something better. That's greatness for me.
What a great conversation. I love that, mate.
How would you do that though? And you had a go. Like,
Basically, they didn't really want to make Sijuin a character with interesting support cons.
In a week of landmark birthdays, we meet 75 years and 5 days since it all began. Today, Formula One returns for its latest chapter, racing at a sporting crucible that has witnessed it all.
Okay, Fernando, just give me a quick ready check.
Yep, ready check.
Yeah, that's all good, mate. So 2.5 minutes to go. We've got the tyres in. So everyone around you is medium. There's 5 cars on hard. The first one is P12 Hamilton.
We go racing in 5 lights time.
why are you in my E?
And the Grand Prix is underway. Good launch off the
Why are
line. from
you
opposite
in my
Oscar
E,
Piastri, but also George Russell as well, who's alongside Max
you
Verstappen. It's
wrong?
going to be close. Momentarily, he's up to second place, but Russell backs out of it. And Verstappen roars around the outside to take the lead in spectacular fashion.
Piastri, what was he doing?
One of the incredible turn 1, lap 1 passes there from Verstappen.
Check my side front, I think someone touched me.
Oh my god. Okay.
We could use the open at turn 9. Okay.
What the fuck, man?
Alonso 0.5. Give me that car for the tanks. Okay.
And this is getting very close between Charles Leclerc, who's looking to the inside of Piratella, and he gets through. Gasly off the racetrack, bouncing through the gravel, losing positions. Leclerc, and this is getting very close between Charles Leclerc, who's looking to the inside of Piratella, and he gets through. Gasly off the racetrack, bouncing through the gravel, losing positions. Leclerc up to 9th position. Hadjar gains 10th, and then it's Antonelli now in 11th.
Okay, mate, let's settle back into it.
Car numbers are fine. Car is fine.
I'm not sure how I'm going to make it to the target lap. Pushing like this.
So the field is still very bunched, George, so it's important that we do make it to this target lap.
You can see that having to go to the inside has given Lando Norris a chance. Is there a car's width? No. And he was doing a bit of lawn mowing, heading down to the Villeneuve chicane.
Just drove on the grass.
Copy that. So Norris managing more than yourself, 1/10, turn 9.
Russell complaining about rear tyres. Keep pushing on it.
With Lando Norris up against George Russell. Now there's a lot of momentum, but again, no opportunity. So trying the different lines once more, but it's going to have to be a bold move into the second chicane. Lando Norris out of the slipstream. Can he go around the outside and pinch to the apex first? He can. Another great overtake in this Grand Prix as Lando Norris into the second chicane. Lines, a lot of momentum.
Norris managing more than yourself, 1
Cars with no, and he was doing a bit of lawn mowing heading down to the Villeneuve chicane.
Just drove on the grass.
Copy that. So Norris managing more than yourself. 1/10, turn 9.
Russell complaining about rear tyres. Keep pushing on it.
With Lando Norris up against George Russell. Now there's a lot of momentum, but again, no opportunity. So trying the different lines once more, but it's going to have to be a bold move into the second chicane. Lando Norris out of the slipstream. Can he go around the outside and pinch to the apex first? He can. Another great overtake in this Grand Prix as Lando Norris has third place in the race.
Rear right is gone, mate.
Leclerc pitted this lap.
Yeah, think about boxing this lap. I've got nothing. I can see the rear tyre is fully grained. They're not recovering.
Open. So box, 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 box. So Leclerc close, may even be ahead on exit.
We were expecting our first pit stops to be around lap 19 from the medium tyre. Mercedes and Williams going against that, going for the early stop.
Overtake available on exit. So we'll have Leclerc just ahead on pit exit.
And Lando, Leclerc has undercut us already. So I think we should try and stay out if the tyre might recover a bit. That's good. Brake balance reminder.
Norris has upped his own pace. I still don't think it's enough to cover off Leclerc at this rate.
177 races, and for the time being, over and out for Nico Hülkenberg. I wish we'd have seen him on the podium. I really do.
I'm happy this was a very worthy last race with you guys. Thank you.
Almost 3 times. Why though?
So a slow stop for Oscar Piastri by modern Formula One standards. 3.6 seconds, not ideal for him.
Alex, 21.8, 21.8.
It's clearly a one stop there. If Alex is there, 21.8.
Not ideal for him.
Alex, 21.8, 21.8.
It's clearly a one stop there. If Alex is there, 21.8.
So I think everyone that pitted early on the mediums felt the early degradation, the rear tyre temperatures overheating. But if you can get them under control, the tyres have longevity. And there were some early panickers, but everyone that stayed out and has just been patient here, I think are getting rewarded.
Lando suggests strat 6 and boxes lap.
Stop the car, Esteban, stop the car. We have stopped the car, we have an issue.
Ocon in the Haas pulls over.
Go to P1, wait a few seconds and go to P0.
Double yellow where you are, Ocon. And switch position red.
Unbelievable. This is unbelievable. All the time I get with this virtual safety car. What are we doing now?
We box and lose 4 positions. Let me know on flap.
The flap, whatever, -2.
So, Leclerc's pitted again. Russell's in again for a second stop as well. So is Sainz. All the early pitters are going again because they realise this is a chance to get a cheap pit stop.
Quite a few people in pit lane as well, so just keep it close to the Delta. You'll see some cars at pit lane.
Yeah, our race is over. We are so unlucky in a way. Everything is wrong for us this year.
Alex Albon has emerged in 4th position. It is Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Albon and Hadjar.
We did not see any blistering on your art, no blistering on the rears.
Again, this guy touched me like in Bahrain.
Pressures are okay. We are okay to continue and copy on that. Russell have 5.4. So feedback as to where I'm slowly helpfully.
Understood. In general, we suggest early turn in and clean on exits. The pace was good.
Lewis Hamilton looking for the move that he's been seeking all Grand Prix, and he powers past Kimi Antonelli, and Hamilton able to get by and up to P6.
That was also made. You are the fastest man on track.
Link overtake available, and then consider mode 8 to help you keep the battery up there.
So he's got a Grand Prix.
In general, we suggest early turn in and clean.
Verstappen.
Wrong for us this year.
Alex Albon has emerged in 4th position. It is Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Albon and Hadjar.
We did not see any blistering on your art, no blistering on the rears.
Again, this guy touched me like in Bahrain.
Pressures are okay. We are okay to continue and copy on that. Russell have 5.4. So feedback as to where I'm slowly helpfully.
Understood. In general, we suggest early turn in and clean on exits. The pace was good.
Lewis Hamilton looking for the move that he's been seeking all Grand Prix, and he powers past Kimi Antonelli, and Hamilton able to get by and up to P6.
That was also made. You are the fastest man on track.
Link overtake available, and then consider mode 8 to help you keep the battery up there.
So he's got a great run in the slipstream as they build up to 190 miles per hour. Hadjar checks in the left mirror, and who's there? He's Racing Hero, who's going by Hamilton up to 5th position.
55 on the road. Awesome. 27 to go.
Yeah, have to use a lot of tires to get through those two.
Piastri has DRS.
He said so.
Yeah, I think he's a big super.
Alex Albon hasn't been on the podium for 5 years in Formula One, and Oscar Piastri takes that dream away.
Good job, that's P3. Alonso will not have DRS. He will not have DRS. Gap 0.5 to him. You have energy. Okay, so it's 22 to go at the end of this one. Snowden behind is medium time from the VSC.
Yeah, it's gonna be a torture. Luckiest driver in the world. Nothing we can do against no strategy. Not even safety car or anything like that will help us.
Yeah, we are working on it, mate. We're having a look. We're not giving up.
I got an issue.
Okay, copy. Okay, yeah, it looks like we have lost throttle control.
Well, the local hero will not see the checkered flag. He parks up.
It's gonna be virtual. Well, hopefully safety car or red flag or whatever they want.
Safety car deployed, Max. Safety car deployed.
So why is that a safety car then? I don't get that.
Stay out for now.
No, box.
No, it's to avoid going lap down. Stay out. Run switch.
We will unlap ourselves. Why do you want me to creep out? Box or no?
Stay out, stay out.
No, come on.
I am boxing.
We need to stay out. We don't have a tyre that can do to the end.
Soft will be better than that.
It's 17 laps, Charles. 17 laps to the end.
How many laps have my medium?
Medium has 11 laps. These hards
Tell
are...
me which one. Tell me which ones are the best. These ones are. This tyre is good, but yeah, there's a long way to go still.
17 laps and boxing.
How many places are going to fall back?
3 places.
Are you sure? How new or young are their tyres? That's a lot of people to get by.
And box.
We have a new soft, no?
So Hamilton doesn't want to box ahead, but I'll let you know.
I don't care. I don't care. We are speaking about ourselves.
So you want a soft?
Do we have a new soft?
Yes, we have a new soft. You want a new soft? Tell me now.
I mean, those tyres, I'm not going to restart them. So yes.
We're not going. And box, Charles, box. Open up. Let me know flat for soft.
Wait. Why? I haven't pitted. Lewis has pitted. I'm not going to wait behind him and losing more position anyway.
Okay. Now we have to stay out.
Oh, of course.
Verstappen obviously has the free choice of pit stop. So does Norris. In they come.
Okay, so new hards for yourself, new hards for Lando. He's now slipped behind Piastri. Piastri did not pit as he was already on his second set of hard tyres. That's 17 laps for him already on that set. Gap 0.7.
Max Verstappen takes us back to full racing speed, building up to 190 miles per hour. And Piastri unable to put any pressure on at all. He's in second and diving to the inside, thinking about the move is Charles Leclerc.
Mode 9. Mode 9.
Yuki Tsunoda at Piratella waits for Hulkenberg to commit to brush the gravel up and under and by to P10.
Tasty stuff.
Change of position, and Lewis Hamilton sweeps on by. That wasn't much of a contest. That will give him encouragement.
6 laps to go. Albon 3.2 ahead. Just strat 11, strat 11.
The McLarens are bound to go wheel to wheel. Lando Norris trying to go past Oscar Piastri, the only driver ahead of him in the World Championship, round the outside of his teammate. Not much margin, but the move complete.
It's 5 laps to go behind you, Leclerc.
Tasty stuff.
Mode 9. Mode 9.
Yuki Tsunoda at Piratella waits for Hulkenberg to commit to brush the gravel up and under and by to P10.
Tasty stuff.
Change of position, and Lewis Hamilton sweeps on by. That wasn't much of a contest. That will give him encouragement.
6 laps to go. Albon 3.2 ahead. Just strat 11, strat 11.
The McLarens are bound to go wheel to wheel. Lando Norris trying to go past Oscar Piastri, the only driver ahead of him in the World Championship, round the outside of his teammate. Not much margin, but the move complete.
It's 5 laps to go behind you, Leclerc and Albon on new tyres.
Albon 0.5 with the OS.
They've got the push and hold, but it's 3/10 for 3 laps.
Trying to be careful around the outside and into the gravel. Albon rejoins and Lewis Hamilton will get by.
Let's join it on board with Albon, who's ahead coming into the corner.
That wasn't fair. Yeah, copy. Look at it. Tyres are fine.
He only could make that corner if he was off the track.
Copy.